Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today I'll be reviewing Scream 4. So, Scream 4 is the fourth installment in the Scream franchise. Came out in the year 2011 and is directed once again by Wes Craven as his final film. Rest in peace to him, and stars Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, uh, um, Emma Roberts, Hayden Panettiere, Lucy Hale, Kristen Bell, Anna Paquin, I don't know if I pronounced her name right, Alison Brie, and a lot more others. And basically, the plot for this movie, it tells a story taking place like a bunch of years after the events of the third film. Sidney Prescott is now the author of a self-help book, and she returns to Woodsboro for a book her book tour, and she reconnects with Dewey and Gail, who are now married, and she also gets to meet her cousin Jill for the first time, and her mother, aka Sydney's aunt Kate. Cindy's return in Woodsboro has triggered another ghost phase to return and attack Cindy and take over the town. And so yeah, the whole Woodsboro is put in danger, and once again they must survive ghost phase and find out who the killer is. So Scream 4 is probably the one I'm most excited to talk about because there's like a bunch of things I really like. And I remember seeing this movie for the first time, but back in 2000, like last year, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I think this movie was amazing. No, I wouldn't really say this movie's a masterpiece or anything, but it is a really good film. Yeah, Scream 3, as you probably remember, and if you saw my review of Scream 3, that movie was not good at all. In fact, Scream 3 was pretty much the Shrek the third of the Scream franchise, even though it came before. But now, yes, it's not like an irredeemable disaster like Shrek the third, but it is not good, and it kind of like affected the franchise in a way. It was supposed to be the conclusion, but it really affected the Scream franchise, and it's all thanks to writer Aaron Kruger back. Yeah, you probably know how much I hate Aaron Kruger. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. He's not the worst person ever. Like how I treated him because he did Top Gun. He wrote Top Gun Maverick and won the Oscars. But my God, Scream 3 for a so-called conclusion, it really failed as a conclusion. So, Scream 4 is pretty much the Shrek Forever After of the Scream franchise. I mean, like how this movie was clearly made to make up for Scream 3's failure. Like this movie was clearly made to bring back the franchise's reputation after like what they did to Scream 3, what they did to the franchise with Scream 3. And as you can clearly tell, although this movie doesn't really wipe out anything that Scream 3 has established, it doesn't really eliminate anything, but it was able to stand on its own as well as a legacy sequel, if you want to call it that. I'm not sure if I would say this is a legacy sequel. It depends on what you guys think. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this movie is really good, and on rewatch, I think this movie got even better. Yeah, this movie is just really good, and there's just so much to love about this movie. I mean, where do I even start with this? First of all, yeah, what I love about Scream 4 is how it brought back to the simplicity of the first film. Scream 3 was very complicated. I mean, it tried to do too much. It overcomplicated things and resulting in the story to be really confusing. But thankfully, Scream 4 was not that. It was a very simple movie. It was very simplistic, almost like the first film, and it's very small scale as well. Like there's some, I mean, the Ghostface attacks were not that big, but at the same time, it was also fun, and the amount of kills that happened in the movie were just the right amount. Right. They were just the right amount. And I do love the part where how do I'm lost. I also love the new cast as well. You got Hayden Panettiere as Kirby, who will be returning in Scream 4. I'm sure they'll have a proper explanation to why how Kirby is alive. After all, getting killed in the chest, getting like stabbed or shot in the chest. Not everyone dies from that. I mean, if you shoot the head, if you like kill with in the head, then most likely people will die. But people say Stu is not dead. And Stu Macher from the first film isn't dead, and I think that a valid argument can be made. Even though I think it's a little too. Personally, I think it's too late to bring Stu back if they want to bring back someone and they choose that. They would choose that. And um I also do love like some of the cameos. The cameos were really awesome. Like literally the first 10 minutes consists of like almost 10 cameos. Like the opening scene, like so many cameos, and also you got the Kristen Bell cameo. You all probably know how much I love Kristen Bell. Yes, sure, she's definitely not one of my favorite Scream characters for sure. But I love that Kristen Bell cameo. It was really awesome. And also like this movie has such great commentary on this movie has such great commentary on reboots, like how reboots shouldn't mess with the original, how reboots should honor the original. I mean it really keeps the meta like that way. And also going back to the scene with Kristen Bell and her friend played by Anna Paquin, I think her name is Jennifer or something like that, I'm not sure, I forgot, or Rachel. Oh yeah, Rachel. Yeah, I think that movie pretty much sets up the meta commentary that Scream Five does. Yeah, sure, Scream Five is not planned at the time, but yeah, that scene alone pretty much like sets up for Scream Five's commentary, which is on the toxic fandom. Yeah, the Christian Bale scene really already like establishes the commentary on toxic fandom, especially when you see Kristen Bell killing her friend over not liking the stab sequels when Kristen Bell's character absolutely loves the stab films. I think yeah, I mean that's already like just the beginning of Scream wanting to talk about toxic fandom, talk about toxic fandom. Although Scream Five is definitely Scream Five was absolutely the right time to talk about the toxic fandom. And now we get to the best part of the film to me, the standout of the film. Yeah, by far the best thing about it, Emma Roberts as Jill, aka the villain of the movie. I absolutely love Jill. I think she could be the best killer in the movie. I think Jill could be the best killer in the movie. You can see the potential there. However, I don't think I don't know if Jill is really my number one favorite killer. Because you probably remember if you saw my Scream Five review, you probably remember how much I praised Amber, and I think Jill is definitely top two, and I can definitely see why Jill is considered the fan favorite. And I'm glad that people were able to see what makes Jill so special. I think out of all the twist villains, out of all the twist villains and the killers, the people who are behind the mask, Jill is by far the most unexpected like person to be the killer, like the most unpredictable. Like many, I can imagine how shocked people were when they saw Scream 4 for the first time, not knowing anything about it and not knowing that Jill was the killer. I Before seeing this film, I already knew Jill was the killer, and it's still shocking. When Jill removed the mask, when Jill removed her ghost face mask, like I got chills down my neck and spout. Like the reveal scene is definitely my favorite scene in the whole film. Like, and that was it was absolutely brilliant because was supposed to be Jill was completely set up to be the new face of the Scream franchise, the new final girl, like the new Sidney Prescott, and Sidney was supposed to be sidelined, and so like in Scream Five we would have saw Jill as like become like the hero and the main character and stuff. This movie was just preparing her for her to be it, but then she became the killer. She was innocent the whole time, but no one would have ever suspected that Jill would be the killer. In fact, many times Jill was put in danger, and Sydney had to like protect her. And then, even like right before the reveal, Sydney was protecting Jill and hiding her under the bed. Under the bed, and yeah. And then the reveal happened, and yeah, wow. I love it. And I think I did notice a hint of foreshadow of Jill being a killer. Basically, when she texted Kirby. She told Kirby that her mom is crazy, and then like a few seconds after that scene, after that scene when Jill wanted to go to Kirby's house because of how crazy she is. Ghostface then kills Jill's mom. So I think that was kind of a foreshadow. But I mean, if you watch it for the first time, you wouldn't have predicted it. I think it's very similar to what they did with Billy in the first Scream movie, where he was accused of being a killer, which would make people not believe that Billy's the killer. But when you rewatch it, you would probably notice how obvious it is. And but not only that, but Jill's plan is absolutely brilliant. Her motivation is she's probably like the most well written of the Scream franchise. She has the best motivation. It's not just about a revenge story. It's basically she wants to be recognized. She wants to be the new Sydney's, and she wants to be a hero. And she's pretty much an underappreciated person. So she pretty much plans all this tactics. She kills people, and then like pretty much plants like a knife and gun on each of them, like to make people believe that they kill each other. And Sydney is the sole survivor. Like no, Jill is the sole survivor, and is pretty much recognized by a crowd. Jill is actually the one villain to succeed in her plans. Yeah, because all the other villains they have a motivation. They're planning to do something, but then they fail to succeed in the plan. Um, Jill actually succeeded, even though yes, she was defeated. She was killed, or should I say killed? Like quote unquote. I'll explain more about that later, in a bit. But Jill succeeded mainly because of how she just wants to be recognized by everyone, and so people actually saw her as the hero. Like they all like there were like so much crowd that gathering to her, like trying to ask her questions when she was being taken to the hospital. And even in the end, when Jill did reveal her true nature to Sydney Gale, Judy Hicks, a new cop, and I absolutely love her, by the way. She's probably my second favorite of the new characters. I like Kirby, but I'm very sure Kirby in Scream 6 will be better. But I love Judy, and also Dewey. Like all the main characters that knew that Jill is actually a psycho and the new Ghostface. But the crowd, I mean, even if Jill was defeated, people still saw her as a hero. They were still talking about Jill as a hero, and they're all like anxiously waiting for her response and stuff. And so I absolutely love that. That's just clever. Yeah, like um yes, again, yeah, I think I might think about making Jill the best Scream villain, but then again, it depends on Scream 5. And besides Voldemort, like, Jill is actually right up there with Voldemort as one of the absolute greatest Scream villains of all time. Now, I definitely have some few issues, I have some few issues that kept this from being a masterpiece. In fact, this would have been the best Scream movie without these flaws. This would have been I think this would have been. Oh wait, no. I still enjoyed Scream 5 more. Either way, I still enjoyed Scream 5 more. But I think, let me rephrase that. This would have been even better than the first Scream movie if it wasn't for its issues that I have. But yeah, let's talk about it. Oh yeah. Before that, I forgot to mention one thing. One positive. The score is top notch. I would have said that this has the best score in the franchise, but recently I saw a clip from Scream 6. A few days ago, I saw a clip from Scream 6 where Ghostface was, inside Gail's apartment attacking her. It's pretty much Gail's first encounter with Ghostface, if I'm not mistaken. And then you hear this really chilling score, and then like when you hear that score, you can clearly tell that Scream 6 already has the best score in the entire franchise. So Scream 4 no longer takes the title, in my opinion, but score's great. But okay, well, now onto my flaws. I think it's not a very good looking movie. Now, I acknowledge that this movie does have the substance over style. Like, even though the style is not very good, it still has that substance to it, and I absolutely like acknowledge that. But the cinematography is very bland, and it's not a good looking movie. It looks like a direct to video movie. Yeah, that's it looks like a direct to video movie. And yeah. I thought Charlie Walker, the second Ghostface, was he felt a little unnecessary. Now I understand why he was there, mainly because um Jill needed an assistant Ghostface to help her cover up the fact that she's Ghostface, but I think the movie would have also worked better if Jill was a solo Ghostface, just like how Scream 3 had a single Ghostface killer, and it was Sydney's relative. They could have pulled it off. I think Charlie Walker was a little unnecessary. But I mean, he was a really good Ghostface. He was a good character overall. I think he's just an average villain at best. But again, he's kind of unnecessary. I would have loved it better if Jill was just a single Ghostface. And while I don't dislike the opening scene, while I still like it, I think this has the worst opening scene in the Scream franchise, mainly because of I acknowledge that they went for a different kind of opening, but at the same time I feel like it's just yeah, it was a little bizarre considering it's like star movie no characters watching star movie after characters have like it feels like a mirror of characters watching stab movies, and it feels kind of bizarre. You don't know who to focus on, and there's like far too many cameos. But at the same time, I like most of the cameos, especially Kristen Bell. So overall, Scream 4 absolutely brought the franchise back for me. I think this movie is quite underrated. It's still got mixed up critic reviews, but thankfully people were able to appreciate this movie over time. Yeah, sure, it has its minor problems, but it's still able to establish what makes Scream like Scream and bringing back the simpler times of the first movie, and also like giving us one of the greatest Scream villains of all time, Jill. Jill is the best character in the movie, and in fact, I like Jill even more than Sydney. Yes, yeah. I mean, if I made a favorite Scream characters list, I would certainly put Jill. I would put Jill over Sydney. So with that said, I'm gonna give Scream 4 a very strong 9 out of 10. So also for my review of Scream 4, what is your opinion on Scream 4? Do you agree with me that it is a really good Scream movie? Is this one of your favorite Scream movies? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and yes, people. This pretty much is the conclusion of my Scream marathon leading up to Scream 6, because I did review Scream 5 on my channel back in October, and I don't think it deserves another redo review. So this is gonna be it, people. So yeah, my next video will be pretty much trailer reviews for a bunch of trailers that has came out recently, since I didn't get a chance to talk about them. Like there's gonna be 4 trailers that I'll be talking about for the next video, and then after that we get to Scream 6, which is my most anticipated movie for the month, and probably like one of my most anticipated movies of the year in general, like tied alongside Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Wish. So yeah, bye guys.